Oneida County sheriffs have identified the victim, but they have not yet released his name. The sheriff's office says they are not releasing his name because the family has not been notified. The man, who police said was in his mid to late 20s, was hit and killed by a CSX train near Redfield Street just after 6 o'clock last night. The sheriff's office believes the man was taking pictures of the train when he was hit. The incident has brought a renewed focus on the dangers of trespassing on railroads. I spoke to Oneida County Sheriff Rob Mashel about how trespassing on the tracks is not only dangerous, it's also illegal. Every day in central New York, hundreds of trains pass through along the railroads. Despite how busy the rails are, people still venture onto the tracks, sometimes with tragic consequences. Thursday night's accident, in which a man was struck and killed by a CSX train in Whitesboro while filming, serves as a reminder that being on the tracks is not only dangerous, but also illegal.
First and foremost, people aren't supposed to be anywhere, within the right-of-way of the tracks or on the tracks. That's specifically in the railroad law, and obviously that's a trespass under the penal law.
Despite this, people across the country still trespass on railroads. One reason is because of a social media trend where people film trains passing them on the rails.
If you're focusing on one track, and something is coming in the other direction from the other track, by the time you realize there's a problem, it's going to be too late.
What makes being on the tracks so dangerous? The length needed to stop a train. Trains on the CSX line, for instance, can travel anywhere from 55 to 75 miles per hour.
By the time the operator sees an emergency and they apply the full emergency braking system, they still need a full mile to stop. So if it's a car, if it's a person, they're not going to be able to avoid that collision. And with a freight train that's a mile long in length, there's nothing that's going to survive an impact with that.
With there being hundreds of thousands of miles of railroads in the United States, policing every single mile of rail is nearly impossible. That's why the sheriff says if you see something on the tracks, say something.
If people see, whether it's kids on the tracks or adults on the tracks or any suspicious activity on the tracks, please notify law enforcement so we can remove them before a tragedy occurs.